Welcome back viewers, ladies, gentlemen, non-binaries and anyone with ears or other sound detection organs. Hope you enjoy. We are continuing with Chaos and Mayhem written by Lord Henry 7878. There is a link to the playlist in the doobly-doo. Chaos and Mayhem, a sexy space babes story part 31. Okay, so the shield doctors were working on Tom's hand, and they assured him that nerve repair in damaged limbs was a standard operation. So that was one less worry, but oh fucking a new one popped up. Uncle Bill regarded the phone grimly as he sat in the waiting room. His toymaker contact needed to meet again. Of course, he couldn't leave Tom, that'd be a death sentence for the kid. Instead, he managed to talk his contact into meeting him here. As the man came in and sat down, Uncle Bill looked forward. Just two strangers having an idle chat. Instead, nobody said a word as the man in the hoodie slipped an envelope into his pocket, stood up, and left. Now it was Uncle Bill's turn to wait. Minutes turned into an hour or two, and soon Tom walked out experimentally wiggling his fingers. Say what you will about the Shilvati, the boy said. Their medicine is pretty good. Great. Uncle Bill scooched aside as Tom sat back down. They charging us or something? I don't, actually no, I say dine and dash. Tom got up. Uncle Bill followed and the two ran for it before any irate Marines could send them back to the hospital to pay their bills. So, what now? Tom climbed into the car. More work for the toymaker. Uncle Bill started the car and drove off. Again? Goddamn, we ever gonna meet this shady motherfucker? Like, ever. Tom continued playing with his newly mobile fingers. I doubt ever. Uncle Bill decided to change the subject. We need to get a hold of some nuclear material. We're building nukes. Tom yelped. Jesus chicken finger fucking Christ. Nah. Doesn't look like it from the amounts they want. Also they don't want uranium or deuterium. Oh great. Real reassuring. Tom pinched the bridge of his nose. Let's think. Where would we get nuclear material? Uncle Bill pulled up to a hardware store parking lot. We could try the hospital. Sure they have a radiology department. Think we blew that chance. Tom grimaced at his own stupidity. Anywhere else? I assume this is a trick question? Nuclear reactor is too obvious. Tom thought some more. What if, no, maybe. What? Tom looked thoughtful. When I was in college, the physics department was doing some research with nuclear stuff. We could check there. He passed the phone to Uncle Bill. Sure enough, there was some research into some nuclear physics thing that Uncle Bill couldn't make heads or tails of. That could work. Let's head to Home Depot first.
And that was how I wound up in Home Depot, looking for T-Vec suits.
I was a little surprised to see that they came in boxes of 40. That was cool. So I grabbed a box and 2 full-face respirators before flagging down an employee. Hey man, I showed him my acquisitions. Do you know if these are rated for nuclear material? How the fuck should I know he realized what I just asked? What are you doing with radioactive substances? I googled it instead. They were cool. Oh, my mind raced. Nothing bad at all, just an accident at the local college's physics building is all I stammered. It. And here's $100 to forget about it. I practically shoved the money into his hand and wandered out, only vaguely aware that I didn't actually pay for my products. I didn't care, I needed to GTF the fuck oh. So yeah, I got back to the car just as Uncle Bill got finished shopping, and we drove off. My alma mater wasn't actually that far off. It was only an hour or so up the road. Hey, don't actually park on campus, I said as we got off the exit. They charge parking out the arse. Tom, Uncle Bill said with a smirk and a head shake. We are showing up to literally do a robbery. I don't think paying for parking is gonna be a problem. You do, I shrugged. When we got there I stuffed a respirator and a few of the suits in my backpack. I was planning to take it slow. Once I got onto campus proper, I went down to the old student center and set up shop in the Starbucks there. As I sipped my venti mocha latte, I looked around. When I was in college, a few of the physics professors would always head down here after class. I consulted my phone. Ah yes. It was Dr. Pulowski who was doing the important nuclear research. Though seeing all the Shilvati professors wandering around, I really had to wonder if any of my old profs still had their tenure. Then the door opened, and I sighed in relief. Sure enough, Dr. Pulowski walked in, chatting with some shill lady. I kept an eye on them as they ordered their stuff, waiting for a moment. I'd been to prison, I wasn't above walking up to the old doctor and just beating him and Professor Purple there over the head with a laptop, especially the laptop belonging to that particularly annoying kid who kept shushing everyone. Hell, I wanted to take his laptop and beat him with it. He was shushing people, in a crowded Starbucks. It didn't come to a beating, though. Dr. Pulowski excused himself to use the restroom. This was my chance. I grabbed the shushing kid's laptop and carried it into the can with me. While Dr. Pulowski was returning the coffee in the restroom, I swung, and he went down. Before I could grab his lab keys, however, shushing kid opened the door. I threw the laptop, doming him. I quickly grabbed the lab keys and left the building. Time to hit up the physics building. Once I got inside, the memories came flooding back. Particularly the memories of failing physics. For some reason, it was mandatory for incoming freshmen. Whatever. I wasn't there for class. The sign said the nuclear physics lab was on the 3rd floor. I took the stairs up there, following the signs as I got there. Once I was outside the door, I suited up and touched my keycard to the scanner. Once inside, I had another problem. I didn't actually know what nuclear material looked like. I looked around at the machines and lab equipment. Oh, I was a dumbass. There was literally a case with a radioactive symbol emblazoned on it. Inside were plastic cylinders filled with bits of silvery grey metal. That had to be it. I yanked the cylinders out of the case and stuck them in my backpack. Okay, wouldn't the nuclear research place have more security? Of course, soon as I left the lab an alarm went off. There it was. Stop that guy! Somebody yelled. I didn't care. As the campus security closed in, I jumped over the railing of the staircase, landing on the flight below. I jumped again, landing hard on another campus cop. We both scrambled to our feet, but I kicked his out from under him and ran for it. I'd seen people do this before. I jumped for the glass doors, shoulder first. Instead of going through the glass, I slapped against it and tumbled to the floor, dislodging my mask. Instantly 2 more campus cops grabbed me. I couldn't see with the mask over my eyes, but I clamped my teeth on something. There was a blood-curdling scream, and I tasted blood in my mouth as whatever I bit came loose. I spat it out and dropped low and forward, throwing the other cop over my shoulders, running out the door, and adjusting my mask. I couldn't go left, cops. I made a turn to the right, bounding through the dorms. I kicked open the door to the Jackson building, cops and I running past bewildered Raz. I grabbed a hammer from a toolbox. It seemed the repair guys were out in force today. As I ran, I shoved over a soda machine. That would slow them down as I smashed out a window, and climbed right out into the shadow of the rec center. There was a second door on the other side. I knew this. If I went through, it was a straight shot to the highway. The only problem was making it through, and as I looked at all the cops descending on me, I decided it was the easier of the two options. I smashed open the glass door, diving over the front desk and running into the main gym area. Now, my alma mater's gym was interestingly built. The gym was in a huge open space, it covered 2 floors. The second floor was empty, but it was ringed by a ledge running all around it. This ring was filled with exercise equipment. The point though, was that I jumped from this ledge, landing in a huge cart full of basketballs. I rolled out, flopping to the floor amidst bewildered college kids. Hi! I ran for the pool exit. The gym had indoor and outdoor pools. I ignored the lifeguard inside blowing his whistle and yelling at me to walk. Once I made it to the outdoor pool, a cop tackled me, and we both tumbled into the pool. To my surprise, I got a nasty shock. My respirator, the PD-101 model, used a motor to actually pull air through the filter. In short, my mask started filling with water. Well, I panicked, and somehow I ripped the mask off as I kicked the guy away. Underwater though, it was more of a shove. Once I climbed out, I sprinted through the parking lot, bounding over cars and jumping railings until I made it to the exit. This was a terrible idea. The exit was a short ramp to I-695, the Baltimore Beltway, dangerous when you were in a car. I ran for it. And immediately got hit by a car. It was like something out of a cartoon. I shot into the air and landed hard on the windshield. Are you insane? Uncle Bill poked his head out of the ruined car. I don't know anymore, I moaned as I climbed in and buckled up. Got the stuff? What's the toy maker doing, building nukes? No WMDs, I asked.
Commander Rishi Kosmano's Omnipad blooped.
Agent Tanu wanted to talk. She sat down on the park bench and opened the cryptokit. Agent Tanu. Commander Kosmanos. Good news. Tanu shook his head. I don't know what kind of news it is. I followed that lead. Our mysterious brain editing the interior is so interested in. Turns out it's completely human science. Someone just wants to muscle in, and they are using the interior to do it. I see. What had Rishi been thinking all those years ago, getting so excited about the sex planet? This place was a nightmare. So I went and talked to the scientists involved, and yeah. Mental illness, treatment, I told you all this already. Some crazies in Delaware are talking about using it to silence those who don't like us. Rishi could see the distaste in Tanu's eyes. That isn't gonna make them dislike us at all. No. Tanu sighed. Our mystery girl. Or guy. Yes, or guy, did send a few messages to some of the scientists, promising them interior funding if they played ball. I claimed there was a security breach and confiscated the laptops, ran the messages through that new linguistics program. Any leads? This bench was quite comfortable. Rishi actually laid down and stretched out on it, holding the phone above her face. 1. So barely a lead as to be negligible. Turns out trade and high shield translate to human English in completely different ways. I had the letters analyzed. It's very likely our certain someone is a noble. Oh goddess above. Rishi snapped, scaring a few midday joggers. Sorry. Right. We can't have ties to this, so I hired a group of Pisrin mercenaries through a proxy. Several proxies actually. You what? Rishi yelled, scaring the joggers again. Sorry, interior business. Don't worry, Commander, I vetted them myself, and the mercs have no idea we're involved. You don't think I'd hire war criminals, do you? There's so many of those running around already, it wouldn't make a damn difference, Rishi grumbled. End of chapter. If you enjoyed, like, subscribe, click the bell so you don't miss any episode, and do all the other YouTube stuff. Visit and support the author. All the relevant links are in the doobly-doo, and comment your opinions, good or bad. And I'll see you next time. And as usual, have a wonderful day.